California Democratic Congressman and Vice Chair of the House Democratic Caucus, Ted Lieu, joins me now. Congressman, I appreciate your time, as always. Just for my audience's benefit, I'm going to remind them. These extended Obamacare tax credits first appeared in the American Rescue Plan in the early days of COVID under the Biden administration dealing with COVID, not the early days of COVID. Then they were added and extended upon in the Inflation Reduction Act. But in both instances, Democrats in charge set an expiration date. You set this expiration date of December 31st this year. So aren't you at least partially to blame for the fact that they're going to expire?
Not at all. Under Donald Trump Republicans, they've assaulted health care, making deep cuts, not just to the Affordable Care Act, but also Medicaid and Medicare. Democrats are fighting for all of health care to make sure that the health care insurance costs don't skyrocket for millions of Americans. And that is why we are staying strong and will be voting no in the House against this awful bill that's going to do nothing to stop health care costs from rising.
And in that sense, Congressman, do you have any criticism for the Democratic leader in the Senate, Charles Schumer, or those Democrats who switched sides and voted to send this legislation to the House?
Let me just put out a reminder that Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House. That means Republicans control what bills they bring up, the vote threshold for every bill. Donald Trump Republicans could have stopped this shutdown weeks ago. Instead, House Speaker Mike Johnson kept Republicans on vacation for 6 straight weeks.
Do you expect the vote to pass tonight, Congressman?
I know that House Democrats are going to stand strong and vote no. It will depend on how many House Republicans join House Democrats, because under the Trump administration, not only has inflation continued to increase and grocery prices increase, but healthcare costs have skyrocketed, and the American people know that.
And, Congressman, when you hear Republicans say, as they've begun to say in the last week or so, one of the problems with the extension or extending the Obamacare tax credits is that money goes straight to insurance companies. Insurance companies have profited from that, and that they are overly generous because they allow people 400% above the poverty line to receive these extended Obamacare tax credits. There needs to be reforms to them. Do you want to keep them exactly as they are, or are you open to reform?
That is just a dumb argument, right? So people who have employer-based health care, the reason that employees can afford that is because employers are paying a lot of that health care premium, and that goes straight to insurance companies. So people on the Affordable Care Act, they don't have employers, and the employers can't pay that. So the government is essentially doing that part of it. And yes, of course it goes to insurance companies. That's because health care is too expensive across the board, and we have to lower health care costs. But in the meantime, we've got to make sure that people on the Affordable Care Act can get the health care because they have skyrocketing costs because of the Trump administration and what Republicans have done.
Democrats on the House Oversight Committee released some emails and other transcripts and other documents related to Jeffrey Epstein. What do they tell you, if anything?
The newly disclosed emails today are highly disturbing. They show that Donald Trump knew about Jeffrey Epstein's pedophilia ring and that Donald Trump spent hours with an underage victim. More emails are being released, and today, the 218th signature on the discharge petition was signed by Congresswoman Adelita Grijalva. So now it's going to force a floor vote on the House of Representatives to release the Epstein files. The Department of Justice better get their act together and release the Epstein files and stop this cover-up.
And when the White House says, as it did today, Congressman, that these were released by Democrats to distract from the end of the government shutdown and prove nothing, and that the president, when he knew Jeffrey Epstein, kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago and did nothing wrong, you say what?
The White House has not contradicted any of these highly disturbing emails. And oh, by the way, Republicans also just released emails as well. And so Republicans are seeing the writing on the wall. They know this is a massive cover-up of rape of young children. This should be a bipartisan issue, and the Department of Justice needs to stop kissing the ass of Ghislaine Maxwell and of covering up the Epstein files.
Ted Lieu, Democratic Congressman from California. Thank you. I appreciate the time.
Thank you.